Hi everybody, my name is Tom Solid and this channel is all about going paperless. And we will focus today again on handwriting note-taking apps. This is an important comparison I want to do today, because Noteshelf 2 I reviewed already in 2017 when it was released. And maybe some of you remember I was crying in this video because Noteshelf 2 didn't even has a rotation implemented. Means if you import any picture you couldn't rotate it. Things like this. I was already happy with the handwriting and so on, but there were so major things missing. I was crying. This changed. Oh boy, this changed. Now we are in March 2018. And if you're following me on my website and my blogs, I'm releasing app updates as well. And Noteshelf 2 got so many updates since the release of my first review that I thought I have to make a new video about Noteshelf 2 and compare it with GoodNotes 4. I mean, they've been really listening to their community, and that's something, in my opinion, very important. So you just have to have a look through the update list on the App Store, and you see there one major update after the other. Just have a look here. 4 months ago, update 1.1. I won't read you through all this. I just want to show you that within 1 month there are several updates coming out, fixes, but also major updates. They added more covers. They implemented things like the image rotation I was missing. And then they actually added PDF link support. So they added hyperlinks, that PDF hyperlinks are clickable. And until then, GoodNotes 4 was the only note-taking app when you import PDFs you had clickable hyperlinks. And maybe some of you know the digital journals out there you can buy. So you can just import into GoodNotes and then you can click on a day and it will jump directly to the day in a month, you note of this and so on. So this connection only works with clickable hyperlinks. It's just a PDF with clickable hyperlinks where you jump through the pages. So Noteshelf 2 implemented it. And now you can also use Noteshelf 2 with the digital journals, which makes a big difference now on the market, I would say, for people who used GoodNotes all the time for their digital journaling. They can use now Noteshelf 2 as well. Okay, and why I think Noteshelf is better than GoodNotes, I will tell you now here on an example when creating notebooks. You know, there are different types of notebook organization in those apps. So for example, Notability and other apps got this notebook explorer there where you can have a really nice overview, but still many people really like having proper notebooks. So you can have a cover and so on. And that was always the approach from GoodNotes. So if you create a notebook, you can actually choose from some covers, and there are nice ones as well and so on, and then you can choose a cover and then you can choose a template. And that's also something you can import your own templates. So that's actually one template I created on my own. You can download from my website actually. This template you can import into GoodNotes 4, and not many apps allow this. They only allow importing PDFs and then you have a PDF. This is a native template. And again, Noteshelf 2 allows you to do this as well. But now let's set up a notebook in there as well. And you have a quick create button here, which makes you a notebook just with one click with the predefined options, which you can just change here, but you can just, make a new notebook from scratch. And this is a new, the whole interface. It just looks fresh, it looks up to date and so on. GoodNotes is already a few years old, so obviously they still have the old UI and so on. I expect a better UI in GoodNotes 5, but Noteshelf 2 is a newer one obviously, and I really like the looks and the feel of the whole app, and even compared with other competitors. So if you have a look at what covers you can choose here, so you have simple covers, retro covers, leather covers, watercolor, art and so on. You have music, travel and so on. It's, it's really, well, how shall I say this? It's really something modern, and you really want to use it, yeah? And you also have a button here with free downloads where you can download whole themes of the things, like the student pack and so on. And then you will get not only covers, you also get paper templates. So let's take for example this, and then again for the paper templates you see there's a much more I can choose from. They're especially for students, graph papers, and you have finance papers, and for traveling, what travel lists, and something really nice, diaries. Okay, so if you choose diary and I go there, and you can also choose portrait or landscape mode. I'm using my iPad more in landscape mode, but if you're using it as a paper, you can go portrait, no problem. Use it and make, call it diary, create a notebook, and now we have a diary from the actual year. Okay, and then you have the pages here on the side, and you can bookmark pages. So if you really have something important written in your journal, you can bookmark pages and so on. So far so good. So for this opinion, it's personal preference that I like Noteshelf more, just because of the look and feels. But the functioning is the same for the covers and so on. So that's nothing special. But what is special? The handwriting. Okay? That's really something nice. It feels more like that Noteshelf 2 is a combination of GoodNotes 4 and Notability. Notability got a really nice handwriting feeling. This is something that Noteshelf just feels better. And they recently added new pens. So you have 4 different kind of pens, and this is the ultra sharp pen, and you have a bunch of colors here, and the sizes and your favorites. So you can choose any color you like and just click the button here and you have your favorites. And I can show you a little sneak peek here from the Noteshelf beta. I have access, so I have to tell you this is not the final version, so it might change, but I want to show you this here. So it is just a quick change to it's just a quick tap to go to your other colors. And that's really nice, having these favorites. Having favorites in GoodNotes, not really worth it, because there's not much to choose from. You have one pencil. If you want to customize it, you can change the size and the color, of course. And you can choose from fountain pen and ball pen. That's all. I think the one is pressure sensitive, the other is not. And that's it. Okay, so you can add your favorites here, and that's it. So if I write something, okay, bad color, this is, and I use Noteshelf, my handwriting feels just more natural. I don't know if you see the difference, but I know, this looks more like when I really writing on paper. If you have a screen protector like the Paperless I have here, it feels even more like paper. So that's something nice, having all these different pens. So I think Noteshelf nailed it here. Now we come to the eraser. For Noteshelf you get 3 types of erasers, and you can choose, and that's something important, you can actually choose if it should erase the entire stroke or just parts of it. Okay, so in this case, as soon as I touch here, it will erase the whole thing, but I can deselect this and then, you know, you can just delete parts of it. For Noteshelf, you can choose different sizes, but you also have the auto size, or you have the clear page function, which deletes everything. So for the auto size, well, you can only delete parts of it, which is still better in my opinion than you only have the option to delete whole lines. However, if you have on this auto function, and this is amazing, I'm not sure if you can see it, the faster I move, the bigger the size becomes, okay? So if I want to delete something tiny, I can do this, but if I want to delete a whole side, you see this, it goes really fast. And that's something really amazing. It's dynamic, it feels innovative. So why I use plain paper now is the reason for the zoom in. So the good thing is, when you're using a Noteshelf, you actually see a line where you can write on the zoom in. So zoom in, if you have an Apple Pencil, there's not much need having this zoom in function, because you would just zoom in and then write something, because with an Apple Pencil you have the palm rejection and you really can lay down your hand and write something. But if you have a normal iPad and not an iPad Pro, the zoom in function becomes handy, because then you have this palm rejection part here, and then you can just write like this. And you see now what I mean? If I use this palm, you see this dotted line, and this helps you to write even on plain paper, just inline, okay? And this is not available in GoodNotes. In GoodNotes you only have this part here, and then you can write something, but well, there's no help line. Is it? No, there's no help line. But you see also that you have this palm rejection part, so that's what it's all about. Now I come to something where GoodNotes 4, even if it is that old, with their recent update for the iOS 11 version, I made a video about this, their drag and drop functionality. Okay, so this is awesome. And this is nothing compared with Noteshelf. Let me show what I mean. So we just enter something here like test, yeah, and go for images, and then we can do for Noteshelf, we can drag and drop it in here. That's working. And as I said, they now added the function, it's easier to rotate. So if I press edit again, I can rotate like this, and then, you know, you can take what part you want of the picture, press done, and that's it. But that's all about you can do now, really. So it's in there, and you got your picture, and you can, you know, do whatever you like. Okay, but if I go to GoodNotes and we open there the picture, I as well can just drag and drop it in here, but there it's just more convenient using the picture. I got the handle here where I can just rotate. That's much easier. It's even clicking into place. You can crop it. So that's just how I want it to crop. It's just too complicated in Noteshelf to do this. And now this is not possible in Noteshelf. I can hold it and drag it into Noteshelf, okay? But the other way around, it's not possible. You see, it just stuck here. So that's really a shame. But this is not all. With the handwriting recognition GoodNotes offers, they have even much mightier things they can do. Let's write something like I have to visit tomsolid.com. Okay, and what I can do now, I can open my task manager . and drag it over into my task, and look what happens then. I'm not sure if you can read it, I have to visit w.com, okay? But it goes further. If you have written something in GoodNotes, you can go and export it, the current page for example, as PDF to wherever you want to export it, like iCloud Drive, okay? And then we go into there, and in the iCloud Drive we see now our notebook, and see what happens when we click on this. The website opens. I mean, this is amazing. So I have just handwriting things, I have just handwritten down this website, and if I click on it, when I export it or send it to somebody, it is a clickable hyperlink and it opens directly in the browser. And this is something I'm amazed, and I couldn't ask for much more. I think this is really amazing, and this is the most innovative thing, where you have really multitasking. And as you know me, I'm all about integration of apps. So if I have to use several apps and there's not one app that can do it all, at least these apps have to integrate into other apps. So automation and so on has to work properly. As I said, Noteshelf 2, I'm amazed about how they connect to the community, how they listen to the community, and how fast they bring out major updates. Okay, so they really got some pace since the last review, and I wanted to point this out. They're really close to, you know, get pole position. What is reflected on my, let's press on my website here, which is actually reflected in March 2018, my top 3. GoodNotes 4 is still on top because of these functions I mentioned, and it's just, you know, a finished product because it's so old and so old and updated so frequently. And Noteshelf 2 just started in the end of last year, so I'm sure with this pace and these amazing updates they bring out there and the connection with the community, they will do a good job. And GoodNotes 5 has really to be great to, you know, stay on pole position. I just released a new article, a new blog post about why it is not a good thing to take laptops to meetings and take the notes in there. Why it's better to use a tablet with a pencil. You can just read it in here. I think that's very interesting to tell your colleagues why it is not the right etiquette to use a laptop. All right, what do you think? What note-taking apps do you use? Did I miss out something? Did I point out something wrong and so on? Okay, feel free to connect, and see you next time. Tom Solid out.